report. All right, we'll call the meeting to order here at 5 p.m. First up, we need to approve.
You're not doing anything.
Did it freeze? It froze.
Oh, well, we're having a good time tonight.
We are. So while we wait for this to reboot,
Scott's trying to join, just so you know.
Scott's on.
Oh, he is, okay.
I think if this is the Scott that we need to have on.
I don't know if you
I
need
think
me,
so,
but
'cause
I'm
it's
here.
Scott Rice trying to join right now.
Okay.
Here. Yep.
All right, hold on. We got some speaker issues going on. The thing is, the last meeting of the year.
Oh, wow, is it really?
Yeah, I believe so.
Just nothing from finance.
Okay. Okay.
What do you know? I don't know.
Because I'm trying to do too many things at once right now, and it's not working for me.
Oh, so
All right.
not connected. We had them in here on our internet too, and we
Let's
need
go
to
to
do
those
once.
things. Connect.
I can see it.
Yeah, sign the minutes for the November 14th meeting. Gil, you were not present, so I will to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Scott will sign them in the office when he
Yep.
is able.
Want me to come with you so I can watch it, because I can't see if anybody's coming on right now.
There we go. No, now you're fine. Yeah. Still not?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Yeah. Next up, we have to approve and sign non-public meeting minutes for November 14th. Again, I'll make the motion to approve and sign. Do I have a
Second.
second? Thank you. All those in favor? Aye. Next was, Scott, you need to abstain, as you were not present, to approve and sign the minutes from the November 28th meeting. Did you see anything in those, Gil, that?
I did not.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All right, thank you. All those in favor? Aye. Approve. So motion to approve and sign the joint meeting minutes from December 1st. This was the discussion on the July 4th fireworks with Lincoln. Make a motion to accept. Do I have a second?
Yep.
All in favor? Aye. And lastly, the workshop minutes from the other day with Horizons Engineering for the water system asset management plan.
That you can follow.
Okay. Was there anything you saw on that? It looks good. Great job, Kathy, on all these minutes.
Thank you.
So make a motion to accept the workshop minutes from 12:05. Do I have a second?
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, these are just you.
Okay, just Gil and I?
No, just
Just
you.
me. Okay. I'll get you tonight.
These are you and Gail.
In case. Trying to understand, a workshop, what it was about was the company we have to do the fireworks, can't do it on the 4th this year. So our discussion was either about being on the 3rd or the 5th. We decided to go with the 3rd for this year and try to get back on schedule next year.
Great.
So,
We're gonna table, yeah, we're gonna table the December 6th minutes. That was the joint meeting with the budget committee regarding the charitable contributions. from the
yeah, we're
town.
still finishing up those.
Yep, no problem, there's a lot there.
Yeah, and our internet kept going in and out, so.
Right, so it's about that, right, but
And there's a lot of minutes.
yeah,
Right,
no Yasmin,
no,
so let's table that until later.
I'll just keep watching, so if we happens to
Okay.
from
So then up next, we have, so we submitted a letter of support for the New Hampshire Electric Co-op for their broadband grant through the Business and Economic Affairs, New Hampshire Business and Economic Affairs. So they've come back requesting that we make a vote to support them in a meeting. So I make a motion to support the grant application by New Hampshire Electric Co-op for the broadband grant. Do I have a second?
Yeah, she did.
All those in favor?
Uh,
Aye. Thank you, Scott.
one sign right there, I can do the rest.
Okay, thank you. Thanks. All right, Ice Castle Water MOU amendment. You're on, Mr. Rice, what's up? Oh, you're on mute.
Oh, there we go. That's pretty
I think you're
simple.
still on mute, because we can't hear you.
Well, I'm not on mute here.
Hold
It
on.
shows the on.
Can you hear me now?
Hold on. Well, you can keep talking to see if I can figure out why we
All
can't
right,
hear you.
blah, 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 blah.
It keeps freezing. Can you hear?
I can
No,
hear you
we can't.
fine.
Now we can hear you. All right.
Okay, you figured it out. Okay.
I did.
Sorry.
This is pretty simple. When we put on the, did the agreement a few years ago, we had a base cap on the water that they could, the water castle, the ice castle could use pretty much without asking anything and be okay, of like 180,000 gallons. Then we put an arbitrary cap on it. If they went over, if they wanted to go over that up to a certain amount, they'd have to ask Mike. So now what we just did, instead of saying anything going up to 400,000, we just left it open. If they want to go over the 180,000, they can, as long as it's okay with Mike at Public Works and a select person, which would probably be me. So Mike is talking, Mike, and they've been talking back and forth, and Mike is comfortable with this. They've been really good about communicating, and there are times when we can go over the 400,000 gallons a day. There are times when we can't. So it's kind of in Mike's hands, I think, at that point. And if they can do 500,000 gallons in a day and it's really cold out, they can really make good progress. We make more money because we sell more water. And if it doesn't hurt anything, why not? That's my point. So all you're doing is taking away the arbitrary cap of 400,000, eliminating it and leaving it in Mike's hands, which it was anyway. So.
Okay. I think that sounds fair. What my thought would be is that we don't sign this MOU until they get us the Clark Farm Road agreement and the required insurance documents.
I think that's very reasonable.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to accept the revised MOU agreement with the Ice Castle to be signed at a later date in the office when they have returned the Clark Farm Road agreement and the required insurance documents. Do I have a second?
yeah.
Second, yeah.
All those in favor?
Uh,
Aye.
And I just looked there a little while ago. I did get an email from Kyle from the Ice Castle, and he said he was going to get those documents back, working on getting those back to us. I don't know what that means.
Okay, well, this might
But-
help.
That might encourage, exactly, so.
All right.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Just, I think there should be something in there that if we have a structure fire, that somebody makes a call to them and says, Shut it down.
It is in there, John.
okay.
Yeah.
No,
there is
that's
There is-
definitely clear and everything, John, for sure.
Okay.
And that's
Yeah.
why, and Mike's very conscious of it too. If we haven't had any problems there, Mike's got control of the spigot, so he can go over there and just shut it off if he has to. So.
Okay.
He has shut them off before in the middle of.
Yeah.
What is that?
You okay there, buddy?
Oh.
Is that it?
I
What's wrong now?
swear we're going out with a bucket here.
What, did someone have gas or what? What's going on?
It's coming from the TV.
Can you hear it, Scott?
What? I can hear,
Oh.
you, yes.
Oh, God.
Okay,
Oh, gosh.
moving on. So now up next, we have to vote.
It's when he talks.
Yeah.
It's something, but it's moving. Look, all the different things are popping up.
It's on slow motion.
It's on slow mode or something.
Oh,
I,
no.
I'm
yeah. We might have to just.
I mean, it was
disconnect the
working,
TV.
so it might be.
He's not talking. Mute yourself and see if this stops it. Look at her.
we have no idea what it is.
I don't know.
It's mouthful of how remember.
We can't hear you. Oh, I'm not even moving, so you can't even see me.
It's probably worth.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this is in delay anyway, right? So this might be pretty already set.
It's the TV.
Oh, maybe.
Because
getting
Kathy isn't up,
No, and I'm not moving. I was trying to wait for him, but
so it's in some type of delay.
And that one's working.
Let's just. Ride it out.
you can still be in the
All right, now you can unmute, turn your video on, you're good. All right, so next up, we need to vote on the lease agreement release and this on 682 Daniel Webster Highway and the Moore Street easement. So, we had two public hearings on both of these things, that were held per RSA 41:14 on November 14th and the 28th. To review and receive comments. There is being none, the board has sent this off to the planning board and the conservation commission that both reviewed it, and no recommendations were received. So at this time, we'll make a motion to vote to release the lease agreement on 682 Daniel Webster Highway. It should be two different motions, yeah. So do I have a second?
Yes.
All those in favor?
Right.
Right,
Alright, and then, make a motion to obtain the easement from Winslow Sherman for 5 King Highway on Moore Street for, the water easement. Do I have a second?
Yeah, so.
Thanks. All those in favor? Aye. Alright. Anything you need us to sign on that? Not today, okay. So up next, we have some discussion on the FEMA flood map adoption and information. So do I need to read this resolution? Or is it just
yeah,
for
and
reference?
Kristen's here in case you need
Okay.
any.
Were you able to do, were you able to do the webinar on the 1st? At 11th?
No, I did not do that one, but
Okay.
did you?
No, I was not able to. I'll try to make the 18th. Okay. I wonder if they recorded them for future listening.
I bet
Yeah.
they,
Okay, I'll try to go back in and see. Which seminar is this? That
Sure.
one is the one on flood maps are changing, what that means for your community.
Yeah.
The way I understand it is you, and we talked a little bit in the office about this, and she looked at the maps. You're gonna read this and adopt this resolution, then that gives the planning board the authority to go in and change their regulations. It's just a date change.
Mhm.
So we're already bringing the floodplain back to be voted on. So we will just re-vote for that. You know, technically they could do it in a public hearing. This gives them the authority to do it, but we will, as a precautionary, it's just all gonna go back and be voted on and be a ballot vote in March anyways.
That sounds like a great plan.
But aren't these supposed to be finalized in February?
Yeah, they will be finalized. We will just take the added extra precaution of bringing it back before again,
Okay.
the warrant article, but it is, I confirmed that, because we already voted on it last March. And you can do, really all they're doing is a date change. The date, I got my little step-by-step procedures here. So I confirmed that this has been through legal. Laura has no concerns, so.
Okay.
Then we talked about doing a hearing or something for the
Yeah.
public, which I think would be really important. People need to understand that we're not voting against the maps, right?
Right, yeah.
Right.
Right.
You're voting if the town is participating in the National Flood Insurance Program or not. If we reject the maps, we no longer are eligible to get flood insurance at those kind of rates.
Right, which is
so
super
that's-
important. Okay.
And we have all the maps in my office now, right?
You do.
Yeah, I
Okay.
did. I had
Oh,
I had a lesson.
I guess we can discount the old one, but.
Well, move them to storage. I won't
I-
discard them, but I will.
Yeah, the other ones that need are ours, with the 10 hour town.
Yeah. and
I
that's
will
what-
just, they're already nicely boxed
Just
up.
boxed and big and.
Yeah, I would keep the last, which I think is 2008. I think all the panels were in 2008 or 2009. I would keep those just as
It
reference.
came out, I think, in 2011. It was that long a process to get the,
Mhm.
I was on planning then and I had to go through it for some people and. That's
So-
all.
I kind of looked at them too.
But older ones, I wouldn't bother keeping because
No
the
potatoes.
science is no anyway.
Okay,
So it's not even, I mean. Right, it's like.
it's just that last box that we have in there.
Yeah, but I would just keep those until, for a bit anyway,
Okay.
personally.
Thank you. Thanks for your help on this. too.
To the wealth of knowledge.
Yeah. All right, so the resolution to adopt new FEMA firms in FIS pursuant to RSA 674:57. By resolution of the Board of Selectmen, all lands designated as special flood hazard areas by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, in its flood insurance study for the county of Grafton, New Hampshire, dated February 8th, 2024, together with the associated flood insurance rate maps panel 33009 C0410F, 33009 C0415F, 33009 C0420F. Do I really need to do that? Okay. 33009 C 0430F,
If you just,
440F. All of the beginnings are the same. 441.
That's
just
all
do the last four.
Yeah, 443F, 444F, 602F, 610F, 620F, 630F, 631F, 633F, 635F, 640F, and 645F, dated February 8th, 2024, are declared to be part of the town of Woodstock floodplain management ordinance and hereby incorporated by reference. Do I have a motion to accept the resolution? All right,
Make that.
second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Is Scott signing in the office?
Scott is going to sign in the office.
And he voted, right?
So we have to do
He
it
did vote, yeah.
fairly quickly because they want it 3 weeks before February 8th.
Mhm. So now,
So now
this
we're
will go
gonna-
to the planning board, Kathy,
Okay.
to do their part.
Thank
I don't know
you.
why they didn't just in
So
January.
after they do their part, we need a certified copy of the floodplain, a certified copy of the subdivision regulations, and a certified copy of the master plan. That I need to send in with that.
Okay. All right, so next up, we have an email from the town of Lincoln regarding the vestibule or airlock over at the community center. And that entranceway project didn't get underway for 2023, so they're looking to encumber that money for 2024. So the 50%, which would have been budgeted for this year. So the town of Woodstock's 50% would be 20,400. So I make a motion to encumber the 20,400. Do I have a second?
Yep.
Any discussion? Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. We're good. Scott is yes. Okay. Next up, we have police budget. Chief, you are here. How are you?
Very well. Would you like me to have a seat or?
You're welcome
Yeah,
to wherever you want. Thank you for, putting the budget over.
And Scott here.
Scott, can you hear us?
Yes,
Okay. All right. I guess, how would you like to discuss or review your budget, or would you like us to just ask questions if they have questions? How would you like to?
Well, I think I sent you a note. It's reflective of the budget and the capital outlay. We've sharpened our pencil on this one. I think that I could have asked for a lot more and justified all of it. But as you may have heard, I'm very aware that times are tough for a lot of folks. There is a desire for a seventh officer, but I think we need to collect some data and maybe put that off for another year. So in doing so, I asked for the absolute bare minimum on payroll. But the difference is going to be the extra in the payroll will be overtime hours. Since I was appointed chief here, we haven't had a firm data point as to what our overtime hours are. It would seem that 1,700 overtime hours is pretty consistent, but I haven't been able to prove that. This year we're at 2,500 overtime hours. So I propose that we do 2,100, and hopefully if we don't use all of that, if everything goes according to plan and we have a wonderful year, that money will come back to you.
Okay. I think right now it's budgeted at 2,500 again this year. With the payroll, with the spreadsheet that you sent over.
That was me, that's what we had talked about in the office that day, was keeping it the same.
Putting
If
it
you
up.
had a,
Then my mistake, I think originally that was where my head was at, was
Okay.
2,100 hours would be fair, but if we go on this year, 2,500. I can't imagine exceeding that number because we have put in a lot of hours this year covering open shifts.
Right, right. We kind of don't know either without trying to quickly sketch it, what the 400-hour difference would probably.
no, and it would probably depend on who.
Right, where it's
who-
at.
I mean, you're fully staffed right now
Yes.
in a
Correct.
perfect world. If you, my thought is, we get a good feel for it and we know we get a good number, a actual number to work with, I don't know.
And for all those folks that are listening, we have overtime hours built into our pay week. We work 45 hours. And I think the rough estimation is about 600 hours with the holidays built in. So you can extrapolate those numbers right out of that figure. It sounds exorbitant, but it really isn't as bad as it sounds.
I think I figured about 7 in what you're looking at, just because of the way I have to, when I was checking to make sure we were, I only did the spreadsheet to make sure that, he had enough appropriated with the 3%.
Right,
When he submitted, that's why I kind of worked that, and, in the overtime is about 700 hours in holiday pay, because they get paid holiday at time.
Right.
Thank you for the nice write-up. That was good.
You're very welcome.
The only other question I had on there was, under the uniforms and equipment, where we've just we have a brand new department, we've kind of all outfitted them. We're a bit over this year. What are you foreseeing as the increase for this coming year, being that we have all our brand new uniforms already?
Well, if for whatever reason we were to lose an officer or two, we would have to start all over again. I think in the years past, I was able to do a spreadsheet for you.
Mhm.
Of course, some of the equipment is recycled, but we will not recycle boots and vests and what have you. Each officer comes up to about like $9,500 an officer, and that was 2 years ago. So if we were to have to hire additional officers or a seventh officer, that money would be there for that purpose. Also, we know that everything is just so much more expensive these days.
Do either of you have any additional questions? When's the grant applies for 2023?
We've already received funding for the body worn cameras.
Okay. And there's no, so they don't, it's not scheduled out over the 5.
It is.
It
Every
is.
year.
So every
That's
year
why
we're
it's-
gonna receive a little bit back to us. We just don't see the revenues on this budget.
You don't, and because we have to, 'cause if for some reason, like we're really close to December, it doesn't come to the next year. Like
Yeah.
you'll be getting like $4,900 roughly
I think that's
every year for the 5 years.
Okay.
And that's why it's a capital outlay line item,
Gotcha.
because it's easier to offset that revenue for them.
Okay. Great. It's great. Thanks for applying for the grant too. That a little bit helps and.
I think it makes a big difference and, you know, having body worn cameras on our officers is very, very important, to me anyway.
Are they in play yet?
Yes, they are.
Great.
You know, they're active. I was able to do, some quick math on what we have at this moment. And I think I'm gonna be giving you about $170,000 back. And of course, we have capital outlay and capital reserve for next year. Some of those items that I'm interested in upgrading our radios.
Mhm.
Also, there's new pistols for the police officers. I think it would be a decision on the board's part whether or not you wanted me to spend some of the money from this year's budget to offset the cost for next year's budget. We could actually remove those items from 24.
Mhm.
No,
Well, I'd have to,
Is your savings coming in payroll?
right,
primarily?
right.
Yeah, and we can't spend payroll
And
money
these are
on
actually listed.
equipment or use other things other
Hold
than
on.
these.
it was just a thought I had
Yeah.
last moment
It's
as
a
I
great one, but I
prepared
just-
for the meeting here.
and their capital, capital reserve items.
Okay,
So
It'd be nice to be able to pick
Be nice.
and pull stuff. and stuff like that.
great.
it'd be great, but
Well, what sparked that idea is we have cruisers have gone up. The new police car has come in. They told me it wasn't gonna be here till February, but it's coming now. And they want to offer us $5,000 for the 2017 Charger. Which will offset the costs, but with upfit, it's not going to pay for the new car. It won't be enough to cover all of it. So one of the suggestions I would also make to the board is to see if we can encumber the vehicle maintenance line item from 23 into 24 and use those funds to offset the cost of upfit.
We won't know though. Until the beginning of January, what is remaining in that line item, right?
I
You
have a,
won't get vehicle,
you can, right.
because you're not gonna have
But
the
you
gas
could-
rebates and all of that.
How much are you gonna be off, Kevin?
There's
for the-
8,000 right now in the sheet that you gave us left in the vehicle maintenance.
And
that's accurate.
what, yeah, cause fuel and stuff comes out of there.
So the new car comes in at $42,768. Upfit, I sent you a quote for 16. I removed the some of the equipment and lowered the cost of upfit to $14,075.05 for a total of $56,843.05. We could move the 7,000 from vehicle maintenance into 24 and use vehicle maintenance to cover the difference, $6,843. But it's only a quote, and I think it actually says right on the quote that the number is only good for 30 or 90 days.
You could encumber the remaining balance at the close of books to help offset the 2023 cruiser outfit that's waiting to be done. You'd be spending it anyways, because it's sitting down there, it's just, hey, they're not staffed to do it. I mean, I can't give you a
Excluding payroll and special detail.
so I would just do the line item,
Just-
specific line item.
Specific line item.
Um,
So police training,
No, that's switching budgets. He's talking about just vehicle maintenance
Okay.
budget. Where,
It's at 70, it's
oh, you,
over,
oh,
there's 7,800 left in there right now. But you still got. the
November and
December.
December, so
November
I
and
have to check and see about November's. Bill, but, you don't have any outstanding bills, Kevin, at anywhere for work?
The biggest bills are some boots, guys have ordered winter boots.
No, just for vehicle
Vehicle
maintenance,
maintenance.
just on your.
Oh,
vehicle maintenance.
no, nothing foreseen through the month of December.
Nothing.
We've got snow
scheduled.
tires, we've got oil changes, we've got everything ready to
So
go.
all the work we've been having done is we paid for it now.
The only thing that you will see a bill on, we have, if the board agrees to turn in the 2017 Charger for the $5,000 they'll offer us, I'm gonna take the brand new snow tires and put them in storage. I'm gonna send them with the original tires that we had on the car. That would cost me whatever Jared's gonna charge to.
So it sounds like you might have some
$100.
wiggle room there to
What's that?
Tires, there's
apply
no,
that to the
Yes.
outfit.
Well, not studded, but they're expensive. Tires are pretty.
no, I don't.
It's not the summer.
I dropped it down 16 inch and they were over 900.
Yeah,
So he's got about 7 in that,
List,
say 43, it was 43,000 for that.
Yeah,
for
so
the
he has
vehicle, so he has 7 left in that. And then potentially 5,000 for the sale of the 2017, so that would put us at 12. So,
I have the math broken out here. Let's see here. It's $42,768. Plus the 14,775 for up the is 56,843.05. Minus the $5,000 trade-in. That would bring us to 50. I guess it would be 51,843.05. But I can't be certain that the upfit will be the price that they offered us in a quote. By the time they get around to ordering the parts and pieces and install it, that price could go up.
So why can't we commit it, if we commit to it now and say order the parts?
Order the
That's
parts
what I
and
have
we'll pay
out
you.
in the office for you to sign.
So
What's
if we
that-
commit to it,
what's
then
that
they
back?
can't change the quote.
That one is 14.
So 43, we said 43, right?
43.
14, 50,
Yeah.
So
That
43 and 15,
58.
and 5,000 from the 2017, we're looking at 3.
As long as it's spend, it comes, if you was to overspend on the vehicle maintenance and put it out there now, that will offset that line item, because he has the trade, because we got.
We haven't voted on the trade, so I didn't put it in this number.
But we had a trade come in this year already from the farm. We sold vehicle.
The Explorer, yes.
Oh, and we didn't expect that, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
But the board can also choose to refuse their offer of trade, and we could take it to auction and see if they'll get more money at auction, but we would be waiting until spring. I'm indifferent. I think the $5,000 is probably a little low for the car, but I don't know if we would get more at auction. It's kind of a gamble.
What's the mileage on it?
100,000.
What's the repair work that's been done on it lately? Is that the one that had to have the engine?
I'm kind of proud to say that, no, that's not the one with the engine.
That's okay.
The engine was covered under warranty. This one had, let's see, torque converter, also covered under warranty. And we haven't actually put a lot of money into it at all, other than basic maintenance.
No signs of rust or whatever.
If I were to keep the car, I'd have to do the front end. I think it needs, like maybe ball joints. And the exhaust could use some attention. I don't know if it needs a full exhaust, but there's probably a leak somewhere.
Worst case, even. I mean. We don't really need to encumber this money if they can just invoice us for the work now and we pay for it, because the car is sitting down there.
That is a fine option.
You know,
Yeah.
so if they just order the parts
Right,
and we
we
pay
pay-
for them, I mean.
we could pay 50% or 75% of the bill now. in this fiscal year, and the other 25 when we get the vehicle in the beginning of the year.
So
And then 25% of it would go against
right, it might
Next fiscal
alleviate
year.
you having to encumber.
encumber anything.
Or
I
you
like
could
that
make
idea
the
better.
motion to encumber the balance of it to secure that case you run into this with your next cruiser that's up in 2024.
Well, we've upped
Are you gonna be
he
able
upped
to-
his request for capital outlay
You're gonna
for
be
next
able to
year.
60, okay.
to 60, so that in theory
Should cover the
should
difference.
cover the
Good.
difference.
Yeah.
I would be more in favor of that, is have them invoice us now to lock in the current quote.
Sure, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, instead of the crapshoot of a.
I would take the risk of the auction, or not the risk,
Oh,
but
yeah,
I would
you're
take the,
Need a
I
motion
think
on
we're
that.
gonna get, I think there's opportunity to get more than the 5,000. No? 100,000 miles,
That's not bad, but the police miles are not like. they're not-
But
Oh, wow.
people go crazy for police cruisers. so.
Right.
What
what did we get on the one that went to the farm this summer?
3,200 maybe,
Yeah,
33,
what was that one?
that was a Ford Explorer.
And this
With
is the
roughly-
Charger.
Roughly 100, was it 10? I think we had more than 100,000 on it.
People
I
like
don't
the
know, I think
Chargers.
there's opportunity.
I'm willing to take the,
Chance, I mean,
I'm willing to take the chance.
Scott, what are your thoughts? You're awfully quiet.
You know, I don't know if you're gonna get a lot more than 5,000 at the auction, do you think? Or the Explorer went for 3,200 at the auction, I don't know. I definitely think you should lock in the prices for the upgrades and stuff like that now. For sure, as far as getting rid of the vehicle, it'd be nice to have it all finished, I think, in some respects, but.
Yeah.
I could go either way, you know, I don't think it's gonna make a difference of $1,000 either way, probably, or $2,000, so, I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, you probably wouldn't get much more than a couple thousand bucks for it.
Either way, we don't have to pay the advertisement, so it's absolutely ridiculous, so. I don't
Right.
care. That you end up spending more than you make.
Your preference.
Well, I can, when I take delivery of this car, instead of having them, instead of us going to the dealership and instead of them coming here, I opted to have them meet us at the upfitter, so it'll sit at the upfitter until it's ready. I could go down with, the 17 and let them have it. It would just be one less car in the driveway.
Either way, yes.
We just need a
I'm
motion.
kind of
We
a
didn't-
spot on this, take the money we know and the money we don't.
Guaranteed, okay.
You guys gonna make a motion to
I'll make a
tell
motion to accept the $5,000 offer,
trade?
trade
Trade.
offer for.
I'll second. All those in favor?
All right,
Aye.
Well, thank you.
And Scott said yes as well. All right,
And then
and then get that invoice to Judy for the outfit.
Yes, yeah, there's a quote out there in the office to be reviewed by the selectmen.
Oh, in the document.
Yep. we just put it-
Oh,
yeah, we don't- I forgot about that. Are we voting on the budget? Or we still?
Oh, yeah, I guess we need to. Is there any other questions? Scott, do you have any questions for Kevin, for the chief? Or any thoughts or concerns on the budget?
I think you hit everything for sure, so I'm good with it.
Okay. The increase in police equipment isn't for this year, it's just to get in the capital reserve, it's just to start to build it up for future years on stuff. I'm not seeing any purchases
It's just to
beyond
start.
ammo for next year,
Yeah.
it's just to kind of rev up. To be able to cover the cost of radios in 2025.
Yeah, I think the radios are due for an upgrade, and I've also put in capital reserve for pistols, red dot pistols for the officers. But we would be trading in our current sidearm, and there would be a reduction in cost with that purchase. It would to outfit the entire department and to have spares should there be a critical incident. The total looks like it's $6,837.76 from our current distributor, and I talked to another distributor or salesperson here in town. And he thinks he can beat that price. So if we get a better price, I would rather keep our money here locally. So,
Would you agree?
no, it was, Mr. Calder. But, with that, it wouldn't be any more expensive than what is in the document here.
Great. Well. You. Motion? So I guess, are you ready to vote on this budget? Any other questions?
I make a motion to accept the police budget as presented.
Okay, do I have a second?
Yep.
All those in favor?
Alright.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
You got one, we just got your
Oh, emergency management.
one more.
Oh,
I haven't.
oh, what kind of hits did this one?
If we just put in, a 5-year projection for you guys,
Yeah.
and then other than that,
The
it's
kind of
just,
years is coming out.
yeah. This one, vote, but I can't.
My only thought when I saw the emergency management vehicle, is down the road into the future, does it make more sense for us to look at a trailer of sorts, an enclosed lockable trailer?
Well, I think
Vehicle.
a transport van might be more efficient. We've done the trailer in the past and that requires having a truck to tow with. And then backing up a trailer is a little bit more difficult than backing up a van.
Mhm.
They have told me at the repair shop that the truck needs a transmission. And I don't know, I don't know if that's true or not. It seems to run just fine, and so I have been talking to Gil, and I think my feeling is we should run it until it breaks. Because the cost of repair for the transmission is $15,000.
Yeah.
Well, the truck's very expensive. It's a really nice truck. To repair it to replace it is expensive. But we should start thinking about what we're gonna do when that day comes. And I think the average price for one of those trucks, and ma'am, you could be my best source here, but 55,000.
Per truck that size,
No, for the transport van,
like we have,
yes.
we just paid 75.
So, okay, so I was a little off.
Yeah,
But if we start putting money in that direction now,
no, for one of those Ford, transit
Oh, the
extended,
year-end.
yeah.
I think that would be appropriate. We have, you saw here in the proposal, there's generators. We have 4 generators. 3 are operational, 1 has never seemed to really work. We should probably be upgrading those in the years coming. There are N95 masks and, Tyvek suits and dog kennels and things of that nature. Anything that you might need for an emergency should one arise. And it's nice to keep it all consolidated somewhere. Whether it's that van, a trailer, or a cargo truck.
Certainly something about the future.
Are the storage bins down at the highway department all full?
I have no idea.
Maybe we should consider taking stuff that you don't have to have on with something, go pick it up and then go and see if some of the storage can be used down there.
Well, I am indifferent if that's the direction you'd like to go, and we can do that. I think some of that stuff we have to be concerned about moisture. And I think that those, the storage down there is probably susceptible to some moisture.
Should we be thinking about a capital reserve for this? This thing, my thought, sounds like there might be some big expenses coming up, whether we like them or not, so I don't know.
Probably couldn't be combined with the police.
So, bucket exercise,
Yes,
given,
yes.
It should have its own separate.
So I understand that truck is rated for 500,000 miles, and we have 250,000 miles on it. If we were to put money into a reserve account for whatever purpose through emergency management, if we were to lose a transmission in 2 years, we could make a decision in 2 years whether or not we repair the truck or we purchase something different. It's not a have to, it was a request from the town to
Yeah.
foresee what could happen in the future, and that is something we should have in the front of our brains.
Should we put 10,000 away in there?
I would say, let's wait till we get to the end of the budget
Okay,
and see where we land. If we feel we got a little wiggle room with revenues and all of that, maybe we could vote to create one then.
I have an idea that just came to mind here. I do my very, very best to not spend that money. And if there's anything that we need, it comes out of the account at the end of the year, because we can't foresee the emergency, right?
right.
At the end of the year, I return almost all of that money to the town. What if we took the balance of our emergency management budget every year and put that into account?
What's left over if you haven't spent it? That's a good idea.
It is,
Can we do that? Ish.
You
You
can-
can't really, can you encumber it and put it into a capital reserve?
With the next year's warrant article, it gets very complex because it's this year's budget, then you go to next year and have to do a warrant article to do that. You can't just do that.
Well,
What,
we don't have to get.
sounds like it's
So-
worth it though.
what, we could look at, we could sit at this meeting and say, okay,
It is not like your taxes, and then you can just appropriate kind of what you wanted. It's
Looking at it
it's
right
like,
now,
you
we
know,
could say, okay, he's gonna return to the budget
exactly.
here. So let's start a capital reserve of $2,000, because we know that's kind of coming back into the general fund.
it's kind
That's
of the
my
same
point.
thing.
We're at the end of the year now. We kind of know what he's gonna give us back unless something,
Well, the next couple of years, he's
unfortunate.
gonna be spending this, quite a bit of this, because he has a hazard mitigation plan, and right behind that is an emergency management plan.
That's-
And he's buying generators this year. And gas masks.
So the gas mask is on the list. We need 4 of those.
So there are some, I don't know that he's gonna study out, but he does have some things coming down.
I did not commit to the generators. I think the generators are still operational. But as capital outlay, we should be thinking about replacing them. I think I found each of those generators is worth $1,000. So in order to replace them at $1,000 a piece, we should be prepared for that.
So, yeah, you could do it, you know, a number of different ways. You could look at the end of the year, say he has this, and then going into the next year, first you have to establish the capital reserve, which you're gonna do this year.
Well, I make a motion to establish a capital reserve, emergency management fund for this year with an opening or with a $2,000.
You wanna do that, or you wanna do it when you're looking at all your, do you want me to bring it back with all your other ones? Wanna do that one, the 2,000?
Yeah, let's start with a 2,000.
Okay.
That's a guarantee. Let's put
So-
$2,000 into it this year. When we get to the end, see that we can throw a few more bucks in there, then we will.
All right, so
Does that make
we're established one, yeah?
Yep, establish one. With an opening balance or starting.
And
balance
you're
of
gonna establish a
$2,000.
capital reserve account and appropriate $2,000 for 2024, right?
Correct.
All right,
Are these generators just been exercised, they haven't been taken anywhere to get them looked at?
No, we didn't
cleaned
do
up?
that part yet.
No, that's, I do the maintenance here at the office. I change the oil, change the gas. I'll run them to probably the dismay of our neighbors every once in a while. They should be run again for the winter, season. But the idea is if somebody was on home oxygen and we lost power, we can deliver them a generator so they can keep their, their whatever apparatus they have running.
And that's fine, since they don't get used that much, maybe there's more life in them.
Oh, there's plenty of life in them. They've only got a few hours on the machines, but if we're gonna rely on them, if it's a life support device, we should prepare to have their replacement before they fail. And then we can take those to the auction and get whatever value that we can get out of them. Which might be 50%, and I believe we've had them since probably 2015, I think Chief Moorhead purchased them. So maybe even before that.
Do you have a second for the motion on the table?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay. All those in favor?
All right,
Aye.
So that's for
So
the
that's a
capital
yes.
reserve.
Yep.
Now, we need one for the budget.
Okay, yep. I make a motion to accept the budget, the emergency management budget in the amount of 8,200. Do I have a second?
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Okay,
See you
I
tomorrow.
know the hot seat.
No, I'm gonna stay, I'm interested.
pretty straightforward. So on the equipment, the rescue helmets, ropes, that stuff, that doesn't come out of the fire equipment capital reserve? No.
Which
No,
one, where are we at? Oh,
Okay.
on the line item?
Yeah,
No, that's different, is it?
That's
okay,
different.
that's because it's like a uniform.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
can buy it smaller amounts
Okay.
here or there as they come and go.
Okay.
On that, you know, the equipment, clothing, pages thing in there. Have several new members and we just keep on handing down. Yeah, the gear, but I don't usually buy new gear for everybody that comes in.
Right.
So we've been handing them down and some of the guys. They might only need boots or they might need a coat or just the pants to really fit them good. So it's just, I wanna update a few of the new guys that just need boots or pants or something, not
Yeah.
the whole set of gear, cause the whole new set of gear is like $5,000 now. So it's, I just wanna get everybody fitted right
Yeah.
to get by.
Yep.
I think we should, we're lucky to have them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're up to
yeah.
24, 25 guys right now, so it's
That's
good, it's,
Congrats.
yeah.
That's wonderful. But
Now, on these capital outlays, are they already coming, are they coming out of capital reserve funds already?
Not the outlays.
They're not, okay.
those come out of, that's that, line item 740. The equipment, clothing and pagers line item, that's gone up a little bit.
No, I'm talking about the next section, capital outlay, combi tool and truck radios.
No,
Oh,
those
yeah,
are line items we give for a specific item that's coming out of your budget.
But it's not out of a capital reserve account.
No, usually the capital reserves are for like the big ticket items. That he's saving for to do, and then when it's. Reasonable purchases like that, they're done as line items in there for a specific thing. And the money can only be used for that specific thing.
So you must have, looking at the year to date, you must have one more payroll.
Yes,
Um,
he might actually have, did his come out yet? I think
I don't
did
think so.
one,
This was
I think
close
it's
to.
in this.
yeah, I think, yeah, he has
Should have.
just one more, that came up.
Okay. Vehicle maintenance, do we have a big issue? Is it-
Hopefully not. This
Oh.
year hit me hard with the rescue truck, it was one thing after another.
Okay, I was gonna say, cause it's.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the equipment. And that was you had an issue with the rescue truck,
Yeah,
okay.
and the last couple of years, the maintenance has been real tight or I've been over, so I wanted to up that. To 1,500, so.
And you're pretty comfortable with that?
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions? Thinking of the capital outlay. Truck radio that's for just one truck or?
That'll be 2 for 2024, 2 in 2025, and 2 in 2026. This year will be the new truck that we're gonna get, and then our engine 3. These radios are back from the 9/11 deal. After that, they bought every town and then state radios. Well, we're still operating on those,
Okay.
so it's time to upgrade them.
Well, these new radios, if in the future you looked to switch communications to Lincoln, will they work
Yes.
with Lincoln's communication system? Okay.
That's just communication, right?
Yes.
I've heard the radios are tough to get right now too. You know, the ambulance has had trouble.
Everything seems.
Yeah.
The only other thing was so with the flooring and the siding. Just looking at the proposal, I don't know if you just put that in to kind of give us an idea of what we might be looking at.
Yes,
If, we may have to put that out as an RFP, just looking at adding up the cost of this in our purchasing policy, so just to kind of keep that in mind. Because I think we have to be under 25,000 to a specific vendor per project.
okay, so that's gonna be on the buildings anyway, right? So it's not
Right.
live, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, yeah. Just we may not be able to say to East Branch, oh yeah, you got it.
These are just estimates.
This is just kind of an estimate, to give us an idea of like what we could. be
Yeah, 'cause
looking
that
at.
floor is tile, right?
It's
That's
tile,
architectural
yes.
tile.
Yeah, yeah, and they're cracked and some have popped up and some of them are just so filthy that we can't. Get them clean, and
Mhm.
you figure they're twenties. It was built in what, 96 or 98, so it's time flies.
Yeah.
Seems like yesterday. Oh, God.
Yeah.
I wonder if what we did in the police department would work at the fire department. We bought these from, the flooring in here from Steve Martin.
Yep.
And
That stuff would never hold up for John, I don't think, down there. There's no way.
I know, my point is, though, is, I'm thinking of being able to alleviate the
Oh, you're talking about having the guys come do it, do the work.
yeah, I'm talking about
Sure.
having
So
it done
corrections,
She's got it done.
right?
labor wise for free.
Yep.
Which was sweet. Was huge. If we could do that down there, that'd be great too.
We're going back to do some work. As soon as I get some paint.
I may be
Maybe we can
kind
look
of
at,
shooting for the moon here.
No, they seem pretty
Something to
happy
look
to
at
be
anyway.
here.
I can inquire, you're asking if they can do tile?
Well, yes,
Oh, not tile, no.
no, it
No.
would be planking.
It's the same type of flooring, but it's vinyl.
Okay. I can inquire for you.
I can give you a copy of this.
We just put in a commercial grade, like 3x3 square. In the basement of the visitor center, that's held up really nice, it held up with a septic overflow too, I know issues. So I highly recommend it, it was pretty thick flooring too, if you're just looking for it. And that came from Martin as well, coming out of flooring.
Yeah, I think the key is making sure that it's,
88 compliant.
88 compliant.
We got
And
600
slip
involved. We
resistant.
wanted the entire,
Yeah,
and
no problem.
the main hall. both.
Yeah.
No,
I
I
think,
think what times it,
I think you want to be careful because I put in the similar flooring to what you put in the police station stuff. It only lasted a year and a half in my dining room. I had to rip it all out. So but that's it's uneven floors and things like that. So I think you might be better off using a vinyl type glue down plank type thing. You know what I mean? Like I use in the station and stuff like that. That is pretty bulletproof. But anyway, see what happens.
this gives us an idea.
Yep.
And we can look at what, we got a pretty
Yeah, we
healthy capital reserve
yeah, I
for town
think
buildings
it's-
right now, that.
I think it's okay, I just put it here so we remembered to talk about it.
Yep.
And then this won't be on, actually, I don't think it's on. When you go to the budget tomorrow, I think I've removed it, because I'm gonna move it back to
The building.
my side. I'll publish it, because I want to do this. I'll make sure anyways, and you'll see when you get to the budget tomorrow, because I'm in the meeting in Concord, all of them say pending, the board meeting.
No,
You can tell if
we can
I
tell
should
from the
be
news
there,
brief.
but if not, it is a pretty thing.
Yep.
Oh, I did, John, here's a copy of it right here.
Okay.
So. The same thing will go except for that line item, that's what they're gonna see. Oh, I don't know, can you email them tomorrow for me, please? I don't know what to do, I've had Scott's guy here, I've had our guys,
Mm.
They were testing all of what yesterday.
Yeah.
And it seems to be worse now, so I'm not sure what's happening.
Okay.
Somebody's mentioned that it could be, like, we have problems with the radio stations and stuff, and
Yeah.
we can't have radios play music, and I think it's to do with the wire, the antennas. I don't know if that's why I'm having problems.
Okay.
We've had, what do they call these things, boosters,
Right,
put in throughout the building.
But.
the internet connection keeps dropping.
It's
Oh.
terrible. It seems to be
Yeah,
only here though.
Just
It's only in this
mail
room.
from
Oh, did you? I'm sorry.
No,
I'm so sorry.
was there anything else that you wanted us to make sure to?
On the fire department fire truck reserves there,
Yeah.
down on the bottom, I have a question about, replacing
Oh.
the pickup.
Okay.
Whether you wanna stick with, a hand-me-down from the highway department all the time now, or if you wanna put in to get a new pickup for me, or, well, for the fire department, or do you wanna keep on doing the hand-me-down? I had a question on that, and, when it would be. I think the next pickup coming from the highway department is 26 June, I think.
Yeah, Chief Christian. The next pickup would be 2026.
So 3 years.
They'll purchase in appropriate and purchase in 26.
Okay.
So it'll be 24, 25, 26. John would get that. They would have to have a appropriation for one then,
Right.
or however that works, right? Yeah.
What's, you can definitely get another year out of the current.
The one I got, yeah.
Yeah. I say let's work on putting some ideas down on paper and seeing what makes the most sense, seeing, and then next year we can kind of decide if we need to put a little money away or see what makes sense. How many miles are on your current one?
Almost 70,000.
Okay.
There's a lot of plowing miles on it, right?
When I got it, it was like 60,000. So,
But it plowed for 60,000 miles.
Right.
Yeah.
What year is that?
That's tough on
it's
it.
2014.
Oh, yeah. They type it on
Is it needed?
I don't know.
The typical brakes and some work on exhaust and then nothing, no motor transmission work, so it's just been, and they get it painted, of course, tires and, but the usual brakes, tires, and knock on wood.
That's good. Anything else on this?
That's all I have.
Okay. Scott, do you have any other questions for John, for Chief?
No, I'm good with it. I'm good with it.
All right, do I have a motion to accept the fire department budget with a grand total of $216,985?
Second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Great. Thanks, John.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome to join the budget committee tomorrow night, if you'd like,
They're
or,
both gonna be there.
okay, great.
5:30.
5:30 tomorrow night.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time tonight. So next up, we have to discuss the banks and the deposit
So if you all look at your phones, because,
human money.
yeah, like this. Everyone ever signed on?
No, that's okay. Table with me.
I didn't.
Like it was a little more.
Have a good night.
Well,
Thank you.
Thank you.
hi, John.
Okay, there's the problems.
So
So-
that's okay. No,
They're quoting us, yeah. So so I guess we need to decide if we're doing 5, 7, or 10.
well, that's the first thing, and then decide where you're going. Of course, I gotta get back in here.
The Union Bank is a better rate all the way around.
That's what Scott and I were kind of seeing too, and then, but I wanted to wait for these guys to come back and see. Cause they weren't reflecting our, the 200,000,
Right.
and I don't think it made it
It didn't
actually
make a
worse.
huge, yeah, it didn't make a great difference,
It lowered the payments, but not really
but not the APR,
interest.
right? Yeah, the interest is still more than Union Bank,
Right, cause at 5 years, they're at 5.87, they're at 5.5.
right?
The key here though is, these are annual payments too. Union banks are only good for 45 days, so. We're gonna need to lock in, but I also
Right.
have it for an annual payment. And it would be okay now to do that because. We had the warrant article,
Right,
the truck is coming in the spring, early summer,
right,
and our first payment would be due in July.
okay,
So you could technically decide what you're gonna do and lock in now. I think it would be safe,
okay.
whatever way you guys wanna go.
How many, so,
I just need to know, like, I gotta be able to budget for a payment, and I'm just not sure.
right,
My thought is doing the 7 years, the interest rate's the same at 5 or 7. And do 7, and then if we can pay it off early, pay it off early. I mean, if we can afford to do that, I think it's not a huge difference in premium a year.
2,000.
so we're looking, so
Yeah.
10-year to 7-year.
Or
10-year, 40,
5, 7, 10, or 20, it looks like, or
right,
all kinds of options. But the
The-
7 is still at the lower interest rate of 5.5. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
then you go up to
Savings.
5.66. Right,
right.
lower payment.
What was the payment we were making? On the current fire truck?
Let me go grab my book. I
Sorry.
don't, no, I knew it and I just can't right now. Hold on.
I think it was around 40.
I think it was too. But I think it was 5 minutes.
if we did 52, it'd be paid off in 7 years, which would be nice, I think, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Be better in 5, but I don't know. I don't know if we can afford to do that or not. But
I don't know, I think that's a pretty hefty,
Yeah, I-
70,000.
kind of a compromise at 7, I think.
Yeah.
I need to leave this book in here.
You
It's like my
should have it
Bible.
in the, yeah.
I
in the
should.
Computer bag.
Yeah, that's what I should do. That's a good idea. Oh, let me see.
We were just looking at what the payment was on the last fire truck.
Right.
Paid off.
Okay, so we did 5 years on the last truck and they were 36.8. Interest was 3.65.
Actually, that's not a horrible rate, I don't think, considering what's going on.
Oh, no. And I was worried because we didn't lock in right away, so I compared what the difference was between budget last year and this year with,
So I'm sorry, Judy, what was the amount we paid every year?
What's that?
36,000.
So can we afford to go to the 5-year one at 40? We've been doing 36 every year as it is.
No, cause that's
Five.
at 70.
5 years is 70, and don't forget this year, my only.
Oh, yeah,
well,
I'm sorry. Yeah.
year, but you're making 2 loan payments this year, whatever you choose, because that other truck isn't paid off. We make the final payment in 2024.
Right.
Just as so you would be making a 70,000, 80,000, whatever it is, payment this year,
75 away.
depending on what you do.
So if we do the 7 years, it's 52.
Hey, you're on Union?
Yeah.
7. I think I'm comfortable with the 7-year payment.
Yeah,
You're kind of middle of the road, same interest
It's
rate.
middle of the road, same interest rate.
And
And
then
if the opportunity exists to pay it sooner, we could.
or what more now?
7 years from 24 is 2031.
Yeah.
Which we could potentially maybe, I mean, we'd have to have a conversation again with John, but we could maybe push out that ladder truck another year.
The rescue truck's up in 2027. That's the cheaper of them all, so.
Right. Maybe if we.
You might
put it in
wanna see if you
capital
can add it, like that's maybe a couple years, kind of like
Yeah.
Mike did, he added on
reserve. Yeah.
I don't
I think
know,
we could
it might
talk
be
to
something
Ganesh.
worth talking about.
Yeah.
'Cause you'll be overlapping consistently now.
Yeah.
To meet or at least for a couple of years until you can get back on a rhythm here.
Right.
All right, let's,
All
let's,
right.
let's,
Yep,
Who's
let's make a
second?
motion.
yep. Let's make a motion to, finance the fire truck with Union Bank over 7 years.
I'll second that
Doing number 2.
At 5.5,
at 5.5%.
If
Wow.
I,
Annual principal and interest payment of 52,981.01.
all right, so you're okay with me starting that process now?
Yep.
Okay,
So you've got a motion, you got a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
We're gonna table the intermunicipal agreement.
where?
Well, that's what I have. It says table, waiting on new.
Oh, no, other public safety
Other
budget.
public safety budget. Okay.
Because we have an expired intermunicipal agreement and they have
Oh, with Lincoln,
with Lincoln, but this is dispatch.
gotcha.
So Kevin has been trying to get us numbers.
Okay.
So anyways, he came over, I pulled out what I had, because I don't actually have a completely executed copy.
Okay.
And I realized it was expiring, so he emailed them back. And Chad came in to drop this off to me, so I kind of tried to pick his brain. And he said it was with the town manager and she was trying to come up with the amount.
Okay.
So last year we went from 18 to 23. He's thinking it might come in around 27, 28. He's not sure.
Okay.
Because of some new program and he called it, there was a program he talked about.
Okay.
So we
we'll just-
tabled it.
Yeah, we'll table that and. we'll
I'll bring it
address
back
next
then.
meeting.
Other than that, nothing's changing, in that budget, and that's also forest fire. And John has upped the $2,500 that we've always just kind of kept there to 10,000, because if we ever had another dilly,
Yeah.
the matching amounts now, that would be so out of skew that.
Yeah.
But he never spends it unless it's,
Right. Okay.
but we do have a new account.
All right, so now we have to approve and sign the intermunicipal agreement with Lincoln and Hampton for prosecution for the regional municipal prosecutor.
make a motion, we sign the agreement.
All right, do I have a second?
Yeah.
All right, all those in favor?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Okay,
Is Scott signing in the office?
Scott is gonna sign in the office. Thank you. All right. That being said, we welcome any public participation on any agenda items this evening. Any questions, any comments? No? Well, thank you all for hanging with us this evening. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make that seconded.
All right, all those in favor? Aye. Happy holidays to everyone. This is our last meeting.
See you.
Take
next
care.
year.
Take care.
I